Welcome back to the final live stream of the day. Real quick, short and sweet. Got some things to do, so I was gonna do it to 8:30, but something came up, so I rather just get these out the way, and I'll move on from there. Got something to do, so we're gonna end it. The live stream, the countdown, this marathon, short marathon with live videos in between in a short time. With number 40, the 40th underrated wide receiver from my book, the top 50 underrated NFL wide receivers. The top 50 underrated NFL wide receivers. Written by yours truly, going over the countdown on the list that I wrote. Herman Moore. Herman Moore, I definitely remember this dude, man, coming from Virginia, playing with the Detroit Lions, doing what he was doing at the time. Definitely a prominent wide receiver, but underrated, very underrated because he was so about Kevin Johnson, and he was great. Kevin Johnson's a great player, did his thing, but Herman Moore was Calvin Johnson in a sense. I don't think he might have been faster than him, but he definitely was a big target guy that can make plays. Playing with Barry Sanders, Scott Mitchell, I think he played with Rodney Pete, I believe. But he definitely was a big time receiver in his own right. So let's get into it. Before Calvin Johnson, the Detroit Lions, there was Herman Moore because of his size. A four-time Pro Bowler, a three-time All-Pro receiver from 1995 to 1997. Get this, he had 100 plus catches, especially in his best season in 1995, where he caught 123 passes for 1,686 passing yards and 14 touchdowns. So overall, Moore holds NFL records for both receptions with 61, receiving yards with 965 yards on Thursday games. 670 receptions for 9,174 receiving yards, 62 touchdowns. Hall of Fame credentials, in a sense, maybe you can make a case. But this guy was definitely a dominant receiver for Detroit Lions at the time. That's why I put him on the list. He was clearly underrated. Now, here's other reasons why he was underrated. He played during the 1990s era that was crowded with historic Hall of Fame wide receivers. And he spent his prime on a run-heavy Detroit Lions team that lacked deep postseason success. Despite setting them then records, he often flew under the radar nationally. Yet some factors contribute to Moore's being overlooked for national acclaim despite his elite individual statistics. And this is the reason why. Coming from the NFC and the AFC, you had great receivers, man. Jerry Rice, Chris Carter, Tim Brown, Michael Irvin. They dominate the spotlight in Pro Bowl selections. Also run first offense. The Lions obviously they relied so much on running back Barry Sanders, and which limited the overall passing volume and altered the offensive scheme in which Moore operated in. Quarterback consistency, that's a lot of truth for that. Outside his peak years, Moore frequently caught passes from inconsistent quarterbacks in Detroit. Unlike Pierce, who had Hall of Fame passes thrown to him. Yeah, that's the thing. He never played with a Hall of Fame uh, quarterback. I remember he played with Scott Mitchell, uh, Rodney Pete. I think he played with Rodney Pete. Eric Kramer, I believe. And also the team success and market. Playing for a franchise with limited playoff success resulted in less national media exposure and compared to receivers on contending high-profile teams. So despite these hurdles that he had to deal with, he still posted up a great 4-year stretch from 1994 to 1997, including 3 consecutive first-team All-Pro honors. During his historic 1995 season, he hauled in 123 receptions. At the time, it was an NFL single-season record that stood until 2002, so it stood 7 years. So this guy was dominant. He had 1,683 yards and 14 touchdowns. He did his thing. Dominant receiver. That's I think he played with Scott Mitchell during that season. But still, he's underrated despite that productivity. You know. Look at Herman Moore's career, man. He played with 11 different starting quarterbacks during his 4-year career. Rodney Pete, Eric Kramer, Scott Mitchell, Joey Batch, Gus Farrat, Stoney Case, played with the Giants. He played on both sides, Kerry Collins, Jason Garrett, Jesse Palmer. So he played with the Giants also. Forgot about that. Played with the Giants. Yeah, he played with the Giants in 2002. I don't think he did that much for them, but see, what his stats. He ain't do anything. He ain't catch a pass. He didn't do anything with the Giants. But he was past his prime. He wasn't the same player. He always gonna be Trey Lyon, not a Giant. He played in one game for the Giants. Yeah, but he's one of the all-time greats, man. You talk about a guy that was doing it before Calvin Johnson. It was Herman Moore. He never played with a Hall of Fame uh, quarterback. Played with 11 different quarterbacks. Herman Moore. So I got him on the list, man. Number 40. Thanks for tuning in. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. So that's it, man. Look at Herman Moore. He's the 40th underrated NFL wide receiver on my book that I put together a decade ago. We're going to continue the countdown tomorrow. Best shit to come. So until then, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Best shit to come with this channel. Let's continue to grow and grow. Until then, talk to you tomorrow.